Implementing universal basic income, UBI, in New Zealand or any country involves several significant challenges. Here are some of the key implementation challenges that would need to be addressed. Power 1. Cost and funding. High cost. One of the primary challenges is the high cost of providing a basic income to all citizens. For New Zealand, this would require substantial government expenditure. Funding mechanisms. Determining how to fund UBI is critical. Options include raising taxes, such as income tax, corporate tax, or implementing a value added tax, reducing or eliminating other social welfare programs, or cutting other areas of government spending. Each of these options has potential economic and political implications. 2. Economic impact. Inflation. There is concern that a large increase in disposable income could lead to inflation, eroding the purchasing power of the UBI. Labor market effects. There are mixed views on how UBI would affect work incentives. While some argue it could reduce the incentive to work, others believe it could encourage entrepreneurship and allow people to pursue education or caregiving roles without financial stress. 3. Administrative challenges. System overhaul. Implementing UBI would require a significant overhaul of the existing social welfare system. This includes developing efficient mechanisms to distribute payments and ensure they reach all eligible citizens. Avoiding fraud and misuse. Ensuring that the UBI system is secure and not prone to fraud or misuse is essential. This includes establishing robust verification and monitoring processes. Top 4. Equity and fairness. Targeting versus universality. Balancing the universal nature of UBI with the need to address specific vulnerabilities is challenging. Some argue that targeted assistance is more efficient, while others advocate for the simplicity and inclusiveness of a universal approach. Income disparities. Ensuring that UBI effectively reduces income disparities and benefits those in need the most without disproportionately advantaging higher income individuals. 5. Public and political support. Gaining consensus. Achieving broad political and public support for UBI is challenging. Policymakers need to address concerns from various stakeholders, including those worried about the cost and those skeptical of its benefits. Phased implementation. Building consensus may involve phased implementation, starting with smaller scale pilots or partial UBI for specific groups, gradually expanding to a full UBI system. 6. Impact on existing social programs. Integration with current benefits. UBI would need to be integrated with or replace existing social welfare programs. Deciding which programs to retain, modify, or eliminate involves careful consideration to avoid leaving vulnerable populations worse off. Transition period. Managing the transition from the current system to UBI to ensure continuity of support for those who rely on existing benefits. 7. Monitoring and evaluation. Ongoing assessment. Implementing UBI requires robust mechanisms for ongoing monitoring and evaluation to assess its economic and social impacts. Adjustments and improvements. Based on evaluation findings, policymakers must be prepared to make adjustments to the UBI program to address any unforeseen issues or improve its effectiveness. 8. International experience. Learning from pilots. Drawing lessons from international pilot programs and studies can provide valuable insights into best practices and potential pitfalls. Contextual adaptation. Adapting UBI models to the specific economic, social, and cultural context of New Zealand is crucial for successful implementation. Conclusion. Implementing UBI in New Zealand presents a complex array of challenges, but with careful planning, robust funding strategies, and a phased approach, it is possible to address these challenges effectively. Continuous dialogue with stakeholders, thorough pilot programs, and an adaptive policy framework will be essential for a successful transition to UBI. Implementing universal basic income UBI with eligibility criteria such as citizenship and an age threshold is a practical consideration to address some of the challenges. Here's how these criteria could be.
Setting a higher age threshold for UBI, such as 25 years, could incentivize.
Implementing universal basic income UBI with eligibility criteria such as citizenship and an age threshold is a practical consideration to address some of the challenges. Here's how these criteria could be structured and the potential implications. Eligibility criteria. Citizenship. Criteria. Restricting. Setting a higher age threshold for UBI, such as 25 years, could indeed create an incentive for younger individuals to work, as they would not yet qualify for the basic income. Here's an analysis of how this approach could impact work incentives and the broader implications. Incentive to work for young adults. 1. Motivation to gain employment. Financial independence. Without UBI, individuals under 25 would need to seek employment or other forms of financial support to. Setting a higher age threshold for UBI, such as 25 years, could indeed create an incentive for younger individuals to work, as they would not yet qualify for the basic income. Here's an analysis of how this approach could impact work incentives and the broader implications. Incentive to work for young adults. 1. Motivation to gain employment. Financial independence. Without UBI, individuals under 25 would need to seek employment or other forms of financial support to sustain themselves. Skill development. Young adults may be more motivated to enter the workforce, gain experience, and develop skills that will benefit them long term. 2. Education and training. Balancing work and study. Young adults might be more inclined to work part-time while pursuing higher education or vocational training, leading to a more skilled workforce. Investment in education. Policymakers could incentivize education and training programs, ensuring that young people are prepared for the job market before they reach the age threshold for UBI. Potential benefits. 1. Economic participation. Increased workforce participation. A higher age threshold could result in higher workforce participation among young adults, contributing to the economy. Entrepreneurship. Young individuals might be motivated to start their own businesses or pursue entrepreneurial ventures. 2. Financial responsibility. Early financial management. By working, young adults would learn to manage their finances early, fostering financial responsibility and independence. Savings and investments. Employment before receiving UBI could allow young adults to save money and make investments, potentially reducing reliance on UBI later. Potential drawbacks. 1. Pressure and stress, economic pressure. Without UBI, young adults may face significant financial pressure, especially if they struggle to find work or if wages are low. Work-life balance. Balancing work, education, and personal life could be challenging, leading to stress and potential burnout. 2. Inequality in access. Access to jobs. Not all young adults may have equal access to job opportunities, leading to disparities based on socioeconomic background, location, and other factors. Support systems. Without adequate support systems, some young adults may fall through the cracks, leading to increased inequality. Supporting measures. To address potential drawbacks and ensure that young adults are not disadvantaged by the higher age threshold for UBI, the following support measures could be implemented. 1. Education and training programs. Subsidies and grants. Provide subsidies, grants, and scholarships to ensure access to higher education and vocational training. Apprenticeships and internships. Promote apprenticeships and internships that offer practical experience and a pathway to stable employment. 2. Youth employment programs. Job placement services. Enhance job placement services to help young adults find suitable employment opportunities. Support for entrepreneurs. Offer support and resources for young entrepreneurs, including mentorship, grants, and business development programs. 3. Targeted welfare programs. Safety nets. Maintain targeted welfare programs for young adults who face financial difficulties or are unable to find work. Health and well-being services. Provide access to health and well-being services to support young adults during the transition to financial independence. Example structure. Eligibility. Citizenship, only New Zealand citizens. Age, 25 years and older. Support measures for youth. Education and training. Grants, scholarships, and vocational training programs. Employment programs. Job placement services, apprenticeships, and internships. Entrepreneurship support. Resources and mentorship for young entrepreneurs. Welfare programs. Targeted financial assistance and support services. Conclusion. Setting a higher age threshold for UBI, such as 25 years, could incentivize young adults to work and gain valuable experience before becoming eligible for the basic income. However, it is crucial to implement robust support measures to ensure that young people have access to education, job opportunities, and financial assistance to prevent undue pressure and inequality. This balanced approach can help maximize the benefits of UBI while fostering a motivated and skilled workforce.